I would like your help to tell a story.
Okay.
It's the story about 3 children, like you, and it's the story about their grandma and grandpa.
Once upon a time, there was an old woodcutter who lived in the middle of a forest with his ancient decrepit wife, who were the grandparents of 3 lovely children.
I'm gonna be a chameleon.
A chameleon.
A blue chameleon.
So there's one, and it's a cardboard box. There's one who's a pillowcase filled with dice, and threw dice into the sky, which was never seen again, but it could play a part later.
A fairy godfather came along and turned them into polar bears.
The 2 grandparents.
Yeah.
And they're all together at the beginning. Yeah. And what do they like to do together?
They like to bake mirror and perfume pie.
Mirror and perfume pie.
Yes.
They would line the children up in front of Grandpa Polar Bear, and he would bat them to Grandma Polar Bear.
The grandma would try to catch one in her jaws, and if she managed it, she would take it back to Grandpa for him to bat it again. Well, children love these sort of horror stories.
But then one day...
Due to global warming, the polar bears got onto an ice floe which floated away, rather.
Oh, don't tell me. No. Have they got to be separated? Can we not stay together forever?
Bits of ice flying everywhere. One of the ice bits touched the box and they were transported into space. But there was no sign of their grandparents.
So where...
Dun, dun, dun! They're very, very worried and very, very scared because they had no idea what would happen. And they didn't have any supervision. I'm just falling down back to Earth. And I've landed in a Pifflepuff tree.
I was holding on to you
about
so I
50
can
meters
too.
away. And Pifflepuff trees are like half cotton candy. So I'm just going...
So am I, because I landed on one too.
But the poor old grandparents, they're just trying to get enough fish to eat and, you know, floating around and diving in and diving out and all the things you do. Keeping going.
They had a roar. Then one of the mountains tumbled down. And a strange tentacly beast was there. Surprisingly big. He was like bigger than that giant. And they heard him roar, I ate a forest of Pifflepuff trees! And he was so that's why I'm so fat!
And in the distance, the chameleon could just see their grandpa.
And then they knew that their only hope of escaping was to get Dynamo and Dabu and get out of there. They were an inch from being galloped. But then, soaring from the sun, as bright as a lamp, soaring from the sun, bright as a lampshade, the dice came roaring down, and kaboom! It all exploded, and they were home, safe from all the dangers, and they went back to playing all their games.
And they lived happily ever after.
Say, the end.